Welcome everyone back to Reign of Chaos Wrestling StrikeZone. Coming to you live tonight from the city, or from the capital of New York. It is Albany, New York, and they are ready for more Reign of Chaos Wrestling action. Here tonight as we still continue the tournament for the World Championship, as well as the preliminaries of the Twitch GV Championship and then the Women's Championship. Our opening matchup is going to be Curtis Axel versus Eric Young. The winner of this match will face Kevin Owens and proceed into the World Championship tournament. Eric Young coming in very different. Completely different man, a whole new attitude. And of course, Curtis Axel trying to get the world beneath his feet. Of course, you cannot deny the pedigree that Curtis Axel has, being the son of Mr. Perfect, and grandson to Larry the Axe Henning.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring,
Curtis Axel is still a man who has a lot to prove. He's a former Intercontinental Champion over in WWE, and even a tag team champion with Bo Dallas, the son of IRS. This is not the first time Curtis Axel has stepped foot in a Reign of Chaos ring. He has stepped foot before in our previous incarnation. Didn't amount to much. So hopefully that his luck can turn around here in our 2020 reboot. But I believe he's got a tough task at hand by trying to defeat Eric Young, who previously to signing with RCW was the former Impact World Champion, defeating Eddie Edwards after Eddie won the title at 2020's Slammiversary. Eric Young, a twisted individual, did not succeed. Excuse me, he did not amount to much of anything in WWE. He's a former NXT champion by the Freebird rule, with Alexander Wolf as a part of Sanity. But Eric Young is a whole new man, and he's dangerous as all get out at that. If it ever comes to the day where Eric Young is RCW champion, then we are in a dark, dark place if it ever gets to that point. But Eric Young is Impact or TNA royalty. As a former tag team champion, former Knockouts tag team champion, which I believe he probably wants. That's one thing he wants to forget. Two-time world champion. I believe a former X Division champion in Impact Wrestling. Eric Young has done it all in Impact. He was fed up with his time in WWE. But in Reign of Chaos Wrestling, it's a whole new playground for him to destroy. Let's see what happens here in our opening contest between Eric Young and Curtis Axel in a first-round match in the World Championship Tournament. Huge belly-to-belly immediately out of the gate from Eric Young. Taking down Curtis Axel, but Axel sliding out the back. And a sit-out pile driver. Dragon Screw takedown from Eric Young. These two guys are perfect examples of who needs to prove themselves. Eric with possibly his age and his veteran status, but Curtis Axel with the untapped potential. I believe a few other superstars, wrestlers in Reign of Chaos Wrestling can also be a part of that untapped potential, such as Brian Myers, Matt Cardona. Side headlock here from Curtis Axel, letting Eric Young go. Very interesting decision. There's a clothesline from from Curtis Axel to Young. I'm always a fan of Curtis Axel. I believe he is championship material. Again, a former Intercontinental Champion in WWE, the first father and son pair to ever win the Intercontinental Championship. That's a feat in its own right. Back when Axel was a Paul Heyman guy, into the cover now on Eric Young. And Young powering out. Now Axel is continuing to go to work on Eric Young here. He's wrenching the neck and the chin. And again into another cover on Eric Young. An immediate kick out from Young. Another Dragon Screw takedown from Eric Young. I always have to wench at any time that there's a maneuver involving the neck and jaw, because I've got TMJ and that's not anything fun to deal with. Axel looking for possibly a cutter, running forearm attack, missing from both men. And Axel with a DDT to Eric Young. Now Axel looking for a foot DDT to Eric Young. Now Axel snap over suplex into the cover. A quick kick out from Eric Young. Axel with a belly-to-belly suplex while he's looking for what Eric hit in the first move of this whole match. And now Eric Young in firm control of Axel here. As the momentum of this match is quickly turned like a dime. And Axel going shoulder first into the turnbuckle, or excuse me, the ring post. Now Eric Young is sadistic, world-class maniac, continuing to go to work. Eric Young with a neck breaker to Curtis Axel into the cover to advance in the World Title Tournament. No. And Curtis Axel staying alive in this match. Curtis Axel using the legendary perfect plex from his father. And then his own maneuver. So Axel's going for that swinging neck breaker that I was alluding to earlier. But it's not getting the job done. You may need to go for the perfect plex. Crucifix bomb from Eric Young into the cover. These two know what's on the line here to proceed into the first round of the championship tournament for the world title, and the loser has to deal with being in the Twitch TV Championship. But of course, whoever wins this match has to face Kevin Owens, who is a former Twitch champion. Now Axel looking to put this matchup away. The face buster. I believe Eric Young's busted open. Shooting the half into the cover. There's immediate rope break. Saving Eric Young in this match. DDT. And Axel again working the leg of Eric Young. And you would almost have to think that age is going to be a factor here if you're Eric Young. And now Eric Young using the ropes as an advantage. Getting more leverage. And now Axel with Young in a power slam position and his back just giving out on him. That's not a pleasant sight to see. And these two men are putting an absolute clinic here in our opening matchup for the Twitch team, or for the World Championship. Getting a little ahead of myself for the Twitch TV Championship. And now it's Axel who's in the cover, using the ropes, forcing Eric Young to give up more energy to kick out. And now Curtis Axel looking to put this matchup away. He may need to go for the perfect plex. He may have been going for so there. Eric Young. DDT. And now Eric Young going to the top rope, which you don't see very often. For the world-class Maniac leg drop. Into the cover on Curtis Axel. And another kick out from Curtis Axel. Axel knows what this means, what this opportunity means to solidify himself in RCW history and to put away a legend, if I'm even going that far, and the legend that is Eric Young. You might as well call like it is that Eric Young is a legend in the wrestling industry, but a sick, twisted individual. As of that, it will run clothesline to the back of the neck of Eric Young. And I believe Eric Young may be out as Axel just continues to plow Young's head into the mat. He's got him up again. Another neck snap. Into the cover on Eric Young here. And Curtis Axel cannot put Eric Young away. I honestly thought he had him there. Now Young into the corner. I honestly believe that Axel had Eric Young there. I was going to put him away. Now Axel able to break free from Eric Young. And now Axel, he's going to look for it. He's going for the perfect plex. And Eric Young's feet were just in the ropes, and Curtis Axel did not see it. Now Axel top rope. Eric Young dead center of the ring. Axel with a frog splash coming up empty, or just a splash. Now Young was possibly looking for a pile driver or some kind of maneuver, and again Curtis Axel just not letting up on Eric Young. Running dropkick there from Eric Young, beautifully executed. These two guys are putting on an absolute clinic in our opening match. Another belly-to-belly suplex from Curtis Axel. Young with a shoulder tackle. For a moment taking down Axel. And now Young, Death Valley driver. Now Eric Young into the cover on Curtis Axel here. The advancement of the tournament, and no, Axel staying alive once again. I believe that this may be putting our main event here to shame here on StrikeZone this week. My God. These two guys just not letting up on each other. And this is only the opening matchup. I'm very anxious to see what comes up for the rest of the show. Now Axel, or excuse me, Young with a backbreaker to Curtis Axel. And we did see a sign of weakness in the back of Curtis Axel earlier as he was going to put Eric Young in a dead powerbomb position. Power slam. I will get my English right one of these days. Now Eric Young just destroying the head of Curtis Axel here. Now Axel, or Young, just keeping control of Axel here. And again, these two guys just need one big maneuver to put each other away, and I don't think we're going to see it for quite some time. Eric Young with another DDT to Curtis Axel. And Young again climbing to the top rope, looking for that leg drop that we saw earlier. And he misses it this time. Axel knowing exactly where he is. Of course, the amateur wrestling background of Curtis Axel coming into play here. Eric Young with a series of elbows right into the solar plexus of Curtis Axel. Now, right hands is laying down Curtis Axel. And these two guys just putting on, again, an absolute clinic. Don't know how many times I've said that in this match, and this is just insane. Now Young in a tree of woe position. And now Axel shooting the half into the cover to move on to the next round. No, Eric Young still staying alive. And Curtis Axel, I believe, is starting to get frustrated. You can see it in his behavior. And Axel again working the neck of Eric Young. We saw him hit that face buster and even his father's perfect plex earlier. He's going for his own face buster, but again, coming up empty. Eric Young with a neck breaker of his own. And Eric Young with another DDT, laying out Curtis Axel. Eric Young is a sadistic man, just trying to pick apart Curtis Axel. Back body drop. These two guys just trying to figure out what to do with each other. They are hitting everybody. They're hitting each other with their best moves, and it's just not getting the job done yet. In the cover now, Axel onto Eric Young. And Young again with another kick out. Axel, you know you have to go for the perfect plex. Now looking for it here. There's a face buster to Eric Young. Axel shooting the half on Young. And Curtis Axel has put away Eric Young in this opening matchup. And I guess as the old adage goes, that if you're not going to put me on last, you might as well put me on first and show everyone else how it's done. And my God, did it deliver. So now the task at hand is Curtis Axel has to face Kevin Owens in the next round of the the World Championship tournament.
Here is your winner, Curtis.
And that is going to be one tough match for Curtis Axel. If he putting on a clinic here against Eric Young. That if he thought Eric Young was bad, Kevin Owens is going to be one different animal to face. As we now move on to the semifinals for the Women's Championship Tournament. The winner of this match and then our co-main event, the winner of these two matches will face each other for the vacant Women's Championship. Up first is Jordynne Grace and Sasha Banks. And later on we will see Nikki Bella and Paige go at it in one-on-one action. Jordynne Grace winning a triple threat match last week against Mandy Rose and Mickie James to get to this point. Sasha Banks, a former women's champion, so she immediately gets a bye from the Women's Championship Tournament. The same with Nikki Bella. And if the byes have proven any kind of history, as we've seen with the Bar and AOP last week, that the Bar defeated the Authors of Pain, and they are in the finals for the tag team title tournament, that a bye gets you an advantage.
Making her way to the ring from Austin, Texas, Jordynne
We will have to wait and see if that does happen here in this Women's Championship Tournament match. Jordynne Grace, Big Mama Pump, the former Impact Knockouts champion. Possibly looking to become the next RCW Women's Champion. And here comes the boss and the former RCW Women's Champion, Sasha Banks. Of course, Sasha, a multiple-time Women's Champion over in WWE and a two-time Women's Tag Team Champion. Former NXT Women's Champion. Sasha Banks, a Grand Slam champion in WWE and a former women's champion here in RCW. And speaking of former women's champions, I would like to take the time now to remind you to check out GAW, General Admission Wrestling, over on YouTube. We got their series, the GAW Academy Storm Chaser, every Wednesday over on YouTube. Just search GAW Wrestling. And of course, they have their weekly show, Wednesday Night Storm. Of course, their women's champion, Asuka, is a former RCW Women's Champion. GAW being our sister company. Doing a lot of great work over there in GAW, but we have to tie it back here to RCW, as it's a filling out process here between Sasha Banks and Jordynne Grace. And the boss is all over Jordynne Grace. Side Russian leg sweep from Banks for Jordynne Grace. Side headlock. And a neck breaker from Sasha. And a base with the running high knees to Jordynne Grace. Now Banks float over suplex. And this match, I believe, has been all Sasha Banks for the opening minutes now. Standing senton from Jordynne Grace. And now we got a scarf hold position from Jordynne Grace. Keeping Sasha grounded, which may be a great idea if you're facing Sasha. And there's a running lariat from Sasha. Now Jordynne off the ropes into a knee. A hard running knee attack. Into the cover on Sasha here to go to the finals for the Women's Championship and to either face Nikki Bella or Paige. And now Jordynne Grace, sit out powerbomb to the boss. Now, whoa, Grace looking for a shoulder tackle with Sasha able to evade it quickly. Get out of dodge quick while you can. Now Sasha looking for the bankrupt. And she hits it there to Jordynne Grace into the cover, and Grace kicking out. Now Sasha stalking Jordynne Grace, got her in the bank statement, but Jordynne Grace well within the ropes. Which I don't even know how you can even hit a bank statement onto Jordynne Grace with her size definitely being an advantage, but Thick Mama Pump coming up hot with a running drop kick out of the corner. Into the cover onto Sasha Banks, and Sasha with a kick out again. Jordynne looking for the Grace driver. But Sasha with a swinging neck breaker. I thought he was looking for the bankrupt again. The spinning forearm to Sasha Banks, and I believe Sasha may be out. And Jordynne again, another sit-out powerbomb to Sasha Banks. Into the cover now is Grace. And Sasha still with a kick out. Now Sasha with a running bulldog to Jordynne Grace. Now Sasha just talking smack to Jordynne. Now Sasha starting to feel the momentum turn in her favor back in this match. And Sasha looking for the bankrupt. Whoa, Jordynne able to reverse it. Side headlock. Jordynne Grace. I thought she was going for the Grace driver, but looking for a Northern Lights bomb instead. And now Jordynne with an arm bar to Sasha Banks. Is Sasha going to tap out? No. Looking for a takedown, jump toe hold. Banks goes face first into the ring mat. Must be looking for the Grace driver again. Sasha just staying one step ahead onto Jordynne Grace. Now Sasha's put Jordynne up on the top turnbuckle. Sasha looking for a superplex. Are you kidding me? To Jordynne Grace, dead center of the ring, off the superplex into the cover, and Jordynne Grace kicking out. Now Grace. Torture rack position. Now Jordan looking to put this match away here with the Grace driver. Is this going to be enough to put the former champion away? Grace driver into the cover. And Jordan Grace has pinned Sasha Banks. What a matchup between these two women. Jordan Grace picking up the victory over Sasha. As we take a look at the replays here. Sasha with a series of bankrupts, and you saw that Jordan was able to reverse. And then there's the superplex, which I honestly thought it may have been over there for Jordan Grace. That was a great distance to fall from Grace. No pun intended. But Jordan Grace is into the finals for the Women's Championship. And our first pay-per-view, which will be coming up soon. Jordan Grace has definitely earned this opportunity at the Women's Championship. Of course, she had to defeat Taya Valkyrie to win the Impact Knockouts Championship. As we move on to the next round for the World Championship. Seth Rollins versus Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett defeating Randy Orton last week. And what I would call an upset. Some would call it just another day in the office for Wade Barrett, but then Seth Rollins defeated AJ Styles in our return. And a hell of a matchup there. Of course, AJ Styles, a bona fide legend in every promotion he stepped in. Whether it's WWE, New Japan, Impact, TNA. AJ Styles has done it all. He's even built a name for himself over in General Admission Wrestling. And many thought he was retired from the sport once he had his run in GAW, but as soon as he heard that Random Chaos Wrestling was being relaunched, he quickly signed the dotted line.
Making his way to the ring from Davenport,
Seth Rollins, a former world champion, having to start from the bottom and work his way back to the World Championship. Defeated Finn Balor at RCW Overtime a number of years ago to win the world title. And Seth wants to get to the top of the mountain again, but he's got to defeat Wade Barrett first and foremost. And that's going to be no easy task. Just ask Randy Orton. And this may be a better position for Seth Rollins because he's had a week in between to recover from his match, but Wade Barrett has to go back to back in his his tournament matches.
His opponent from Manchester, England, weighing in at 271 pounds, Wade Barrett.
course, Wade Barrett, multiple-time Intercontinental Champion in WWE. Looking Wade defeat Seth Rollins here to win his first World Championship. We'll all find out together in this next matchup. And here we go, Rollins and Barrett for the first time ever. A very different clash of styles between these two. Obviously, Rollins with a CrossFit background, able to fly around the ring, use the agility to his advantage, where Wade is more of a grappler, even using the power game as it's displayed right there quickly against the ropes is Barrett. And just a quick cheap shot right between the eyes of Seth Rollins. And of course, what can we say about Seth Rollins, a multiple-time world champion over in WWE? Former Intercontinental Champion, Tag Team Champion. Money in the Bank, Royal Rumble. But Wade, a multiple-time Intercontinental Champion in his own right. King of the Ring. I don't even know how much of an accolade this is, but winner of the original season of NXT, Facebuster from Seth Rollins. Now Barrett laying down the elbows to the collarbone of Seth Rollins into the cover, which may be a smart strategy just given Seth's injury. Or excuse me, I'm thinking of Finn Balor. I am way off course. No, it's the knee of Seth Rollins that I believe that Wade Barrett may need to focus on, but he's not going to get it here. Now Rollins in a suplex, but blocked by Barrett. Swinging neck breaker from the Englishman. And there's the winds of change side slam from Wade Barrett. Laying out Rollins as now Barrett's winding up the elbow for the bull hammer elbow to the former world champion. This is going to be enough to put Barrett further down the line for the world title. No. Again, it took Seth Rollins quite a bit to knock out AJ Styles to get to this point. Roll through super kick from Seth Rollins. Rollins delivered a series of ripcord knee strikes, but of course he knew that he had to go for the stomp to put AJ away. That might be what's going to happen here. And there's the ripcord knee from Rollins into the cover onto Barrett. And Barrett staying alive. Rollins knows he has to go for the stomp. He's earned him many victories in his career. Barrett off the ropes. Drop kick coming up empty for Rollins. European uppercut from Barrett. From a bare knuckle boxer. Impressive combination there from Rollins. Standing moonsault. Now just working the arms of Wade Barrett again, now working the neck. Trying to redirect the blood flow, if I would have to guess. Now Rollins up to the top rope. Frog splash connects into the cover. And Seth Rollins has beaten Wade Barrett and advances into the next round. So now the winner, so now Seth Rollins' next opponent is either going to be Curtis Axel or Kevin Owens for the World Championship. And given the way that the field looks right now for the World Championship, I'd almost have to put my money on Seth Rollins, but at the beginning I could have put it on just about anybody. But Seth Rollins is definitely proving himself here in this tournament to become the next RCW World Champion, and for him to become his two-time World Champion.
Here is your winner,
Seth Rollins moves on to the next round for the world title. Great effort by Wade Barrett. As we now move on to our co-main event of the evening. Paige versus Nikki Bella. Nikki, a three-time RCW Women's Champion. She was the inaugural champion back in 2016. Won it back from Bayley, and then Nikki won the title off of Asuka in a triple threat match in our farewell in 2017. So Nikki Bella again continuing to make history.
making her way to the ring from Norwich, England, Paige.
Paige defeating Alexa Bliss. As soon as I get my notes back up here. Paige defeated Ruby Riott and Alexa Bliss in a triple threat match the same way that Jordynne Grace defeated Mandy Rose and Mickie James to get this far for the Women's Championship. But now Paige has to defeat Nikki Bella in order to get to the final. So it's either going to be Paige or Nikki that will face Jordynne Grace at our first pay-per-view for the vacant Women's Championship.
And her opponent, from Scottsdale, Arizona, Nikki Bella.
I didn't want to take away from Nikki Bella's entrance, as I have to remind everyone that with a vacant championship comes the special rounds match that will determine the champions. We will be conducting a rounds match in our first pay-per-view for the World and the Women's Championship. The rounds match rules are as follows. There will be 6 5-minute rounds. In order to win the match, you have to win 2 rounds in order to win the match. And the match can end by disqualification or knockout. But the first to win 2 falls out of 6 wins the match, and subsequently the women's or the championship that they are contesting for. There will be 20-second respites between each round. There's a strong inspiration from the British rounds match from the NXT United Kingdom Heritage Cup. And now Nikki Bella in firm control here of Paige. Is wearing her down. Which I would think that if it was the rounds match, it would play to Paige's advantage because she is obviously with her British background, but I'm not 100% sure she's ever competed in a rounds match before, but I hope that she can get a hold of Trent Seven, Cesaro, or anyone else that's ever competed previously in a rounds match to get some tips and tricks on how to survive. Now Nikki Bella in control of Paige here. And our co-main event, and of course our main event after this match, oh, it's going to be a colossal main event. You have the Bomber Dave Mastiff taking on Rhino. I don't think that the ring is going to be securely safe at the end of that match. Alabama Slam from Nikki Bella. Now Nikki's in firm control here of this match. Looking for a monkey flip out of the corner. Into the cover now on Paige. Paige is immediately kicking out at one. So again, the buys can pay off. We've seen it with the Bar. We did not see it with the Ascension, and we didn't see it with Jordan Grace, or excuse me, with Sasha earlier tonight. She took on Jordan Grace, but can this buy into the semifinals do well for Nikki Bella? Is now Paige going for the Paige turner. Whoa, coming up. Whoa. Lariat there. Counter from Nikki Bella. And now Paige again onto the back of the attack. And Nikki with a suplex into the cover. Paige was looking for the Paige turner, but Nikki able to counter it into a lariat. Now Nikki Bella with the rack attack 2.0. Into the cover on Paige. Paige well close to the ropes, but Nikki Bella quickly taking out Paige. So now the stage is set for the Women's Championship out at our first pay-per-view. We got Jordan Grace and Nikki Bella for the Women's Championship. That is going to be one interesting match between these two. Nikki Bella again making quick work of Paige, which I did not expect, I'll be perfectly honest. I can't doubt our three-time Women's Champion, Nikki Bella. Again, our Colossal main event, Dave Mastiff and Rhino. Rhino, another legend in our ranks. Rhino, former ECW World Champion, former Tag Team Champion in WWE. I believe Rhino has done it all in ECW as a former World Champion, Television Champion, Tag Team Champion. Even a former TNA World Champion, Tag Team Champion in WWE, Hardcore Champion. The accolades go on for Rhino. He's a living legend.
Making his way to the ring from England, weighing in at
But Dave
322 pounds, Dave Masters.
Dave Mastiff, there's not much known about Dave Mastiff, but he is impressive for a man of his size. That's why I had to rub my hands together when I saw that this match was going down between these two supreme athletes. The Bomber versus Rhino.
And his opponent from Detroit, Michigan, weighing in at 295 pounds, Rhino.
Rhino, another small accolade to his career, even though it's in a completely different field. A former mayoral candidate for the city of Detroit. I don't actually now recall if he was running for mayor or governor of Detroit. No, it can't be governor, so he may be running for mayor of Detroit, Michigan. But instead of the political ring, he's stepping into the wrestling ring here against the Bomber, Dave Mastiff. These two hosses looking to put it all on the line here for a shot at the world title later down the line. Powerbomb there from Rhino. Now Rhino looking for a DDT. Back body drop from Dave Mastiff. Knife edge chop from Mastiff. And then an elevated headbutt from Mastiff. Series of elbows, and now shoulder tackles to Rhino, which I don't think you ever want to get into a shoulder tackle fight with Rhino, knowing that his finishing maneuver is the gore. And now Rhino up to the top rope. We don't see very often. Double underhood suplex to Dave Mastiff, and I really have to hope that the ring is reinforced for this Colossal main event between these two. Uppercut there from Mastiff to Rhino, as now this match spills to the outside. And outside of the ring, there's nothing more than thin padding and steel barricades. Another headbutt from Mastiff. As Mastiff gets back inside the ring, and of course the victory, or count-out victory, is just as good as getting a pinfall, as we've seen from the Street Profits as they've defeated the Colognes earlier. And there's a brainbuster from Dave Mastiff. There's Mastiff putting on a great match between himself and Eddie Dennis in a no disqualification match at NXT UK Takeover Blackpool. Eddie Dennis is another extraordinary wrestler that I would love to be able to sign here to, I'd love to see sign here to RCW, but maybe at some point in the future. There's a splash there from Dave Mastiff, which I would never would have expected from the Bomber. Looking for a belly-to-belly suplex, STO counter from Rhino. And now Mastiff. He's got Rhino up on the top turnbuckle. Looking for a modified power slam from the top rope. Look at the cover now. And Rhino still staying alive in this match. And all these right hand attacks were barely making any kind of effect on Mastiff. Another straight elbow, double underhook suplex again, this time just from the mat. We saw it from the top rope earlier from Rhino. And Rhino going for a ground and pound attack with Dave Mastiff. Now Mastiff is laying out Rhino. And again, this match continues to spill on the outside periodically. Now Mastiff with a stiff chop across the chest of Rhino as he laid prone on the apron. Now Mastiff gutbuster off the fireman's carry into a running senton. To Rhino into the cover. And Rhino with the kick out. Now Mastiff looking to put this matchup away here against Rhino. Looking for a pile driver. To Rhino into the cover. And Dave Mastiff is moving on to the next round of the world title tournament, and he will be facing Eli Drake. If I was Eli Drake, I would be running for the hills, because I would not want to be facing Dave Mastiff if I was Eli Drake. I would not want to be in Eli Drake's position. No way, no how. I think you get an easy win by defeating Bobby Roode, and no way, now you're going to deal with the Bomber. The World Title Tournament is slimming down.
Here is your winner, Dave Mastiff.
We're getting there to the finals. And of course, the actual finals will take place at our first pay-per-view. It may be in the next coming weeks. RCW, anything goes. Thank you everybody so much for watching us here on Twitch. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. Make sure to drop a like onto this video and to subscribe if you like this content, you want to see more like it. And again, I would like to send a little PSA to watch our sister company GAW over on YouTube, General Admission Wrestling. Thank you everybody so much for joining us, and have a great night, and we will see you next time right here on the StrikeZone.